Alright, hello people. Let's actually look at some hands now. How do I do that? Hero. Clear filters. These filters have not been cleared. Oh, they have been cleared. Okay. I want to sort by big blinds. Won or lost. And I'm just going to look at hands where I won or lost more than one big blind. More than 1.4 big blinds. Because that's 1.4 big blinds is one I opened and collected both blinds. That's not going to be super interesting to watch. As you can see, none of those hands actually had a flop. So. And I'm gonna try to skim through the first ones very quickly, because they're gonna be pretty simple hands for the most part. Okay, that's amazing. It's a good start. I'm gonna open a suited queen on the cutoff. This is very, very loose. I believe I'm meant to be playing very, very loose in this position though, from what I've seen. Standard everything so far. Yep, just a standard hand there. This seems like a very good bet. I think that people will overfold on this board. I don't have to keep betting now. I'm ahead of ace highs, and ace highs are the main hands which are meant to fold on the turn. If I were to keep betting, I'd want to bet twice to try to start making him fold hands like pocket tens or something. I can consider calling, but I don't think I need to. I think this is actually quite a bad hand to call with because I block so many flush draws. Here I opened, got called here, c-bet. I'm not ahead of much anymore. I'm actually just gonna fold, I think. This range should have quite a few tens. And it also has like hands like queens, which is really, really unpleasant for me when I have jacks. This is a very loose under the gun open. C-bet and fold seems somewhat reasonable. Loose call, loose call. I would squeeze the ace queen usually. I called that time. Okay. Sure. I don't think he can pot c-bet with queens into 3 people on that board, but he did. Got folded. Pretty normal so far. Yeah, very normal hand. That's normal enough. I don't hate my play. I hate his, but yeah, you know. Here I'm going to continue to bet into 2 players. It's quite a good turn for me. I would go so far as to say that it's a very, very, very good turn for me. It's certainly a good enough turn that I don't have to do anything crazy against this. Do I want to call? I don't even think I want to call. I won't be folding a king to that. Almost ever. I have a very strong range there. My range is not weak. Like, if I'm not folding the exact hand I had, I'm just about never folding to that bet, so yeah. This hand doesn't seem very interesting so far. Okay, it wasn't very interesting. That hand looks standard. I'm glad to see that somebody actually folded. Ace-6 offsuit there. That fold is... I don't think that fold is acceptable by the big blind on that flop. Got her a backdoor flush draw, ace high. Maybe he just figures it hits my range so much better than his. Well, no, he figures, like... he's probably watching House of Cards or something as he makes the decision and isn't actually thinking at all. But I don't think he can fold that hand to that bet. Shoop-de-doop-de-doo, quite a dry flop. I'm gonna go for delayed c-bet. I think the king's a very good card for delayed c-bet. So yeah, the delayed c-bet will save me money when they have a hand, because people, I think, don't defend their turn checking range enough. And what I mean by that is that they bet their stronger hands on the turn instead of checking them. And still get a lot of folds from marginal strength hands and from air, which doesn't bluff. This hand was just sort of goofy by my opponent, but someone... oh my god. Oh. Wow. That's like... that fold is a little bit like in Star Wars when the Death Star destroys Alderaan. That's not okay. Fold. Oh my god. Oh wow. Ouch. Ouch. Ow. Oof. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So far we've had 3 profitable opens folded. Let's see if the dealer opens or folds here. Oh my, oh wow. Oh wow. That's absolutely amazing. I'm gonna check call white here. Check call turn now, pretty comfortably. Okay, I did not fold ace queen. That's... but, oh, so every single one of my opponents made a pre-flop mistake this hand. Good grief. So I guess like I bet a queen on the flop is my interpretation of what just happened. Huh? This just gotta be a timeout fold or something. My opponents are not doing so hot right now. Oh, aren't I opening 100% in the small blind? Probably shouldn't have fast folded it, if that's the case. Okay, that's it's a somewhat experimental limp call. This guy probably ran similar simulations to what I did in the earlier video tonight, and then decided that limp calling with 100% of his hands was probably profitable in this spot, and he's trying it out. That's my guess. That's how he arrived at limp calling with 5 deuce offsuit here. Seems like in a hand it would have been okay to find a fold with pre-flop. I'm gonna just bet here. No, I'm gonna check. I win at showdown sometimes. I've seen it happen. This is a very, very unusual hand. Oh. Okay, well, that was what the bet is meant to do. So, I guess I'm happy about that. That was a very unusual call pre-flop. Wow, ouch. I feel like the last time I did this, there were far fewer nitty side pre-flop mistakes. Seems like this seems very close between a check raise and a check call, actually. I'm gonna check raise because it's Saturday night. Maybe I should be bluffing more. Except 3-bets don't seem to work pre-flop. This is an example of a hand that I can consider 3-betting. I'm gonna do it. This spot is meant to be good for me. I haven't seen any evidence that that is the case in my attempts to actually exploit it, but it's meant to be. Okay, hero opens 7-3 suited and gets a fold from ace-4 suited in the small blind. That's wonderful. That is what I am going for. But king 10 offsuit 3-bets me from the big blind, which it's allowed to do. If one guy's folding ace-4 suited, it's still going to be a profitable open if the other guy's 3-betting king 10 offsuit. So this guy had a real hand here, and I just folded, which is fine. It's a 4-bet or call spot. I'm gonna go with a 4-bet with this hand. It's not super sensible to slow play with kings because a lot of the time the flop comes ace high like this, and then it's just sort of gross for you. I'm gonna check behind. I love having the king of clubs in my hand here. I am going to call, and I'm gonna fold to a river jam. Hand played itself. Yeah, I mean, that's not a profitable bluff for him unless he like has blockers going on and stuff, because I do check back with ace king on that board almost always and will like never fold it. He actually has quite a strong range. Ace queen is a large part of his range, at least in my opinion. This will be a loose peel. I need to think certain things about my opponents for this to be a good peel. And the pop-up isn't even working, so I can't work out if I do. Let's try that again. 62% c-bet. I need a turn c-bet number. 56. It's probably not a good good float. Fold, 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 raise, fold. Nope, nope, that is not right. That is wrong, my friend. I'm gonna see about this because I blocked king queen. I'm gonna have tons and tons of raggedy stuff now that I'm opening all the way down to queen 4 offsuit on the button. So yeah, this is actually going to be one of my better c-betting hands just for the blocker, I think, on this board. And a backdoor straight draw with the 4. It sort of hits the board both ways in a very depressing, like, this missed the board sort of way. He's allowed to check raise that 6. Okay, well, he won the pot, but I don't think that his play was very profitable. Ooh, I'm not sure I can fold that. I'm just really having difficulty with the pre-flop aggression stuff. It's just not really working out for me. So I get to see cards this time, which I'm excited about. I'm going to time down, see what's going on. Aces and queens, huh? It's hard to have aces when I have one of them. Yeah, I don't know. What's my success rate with 3 bets? My success rate with cutoff 3 bets is 13%. My success rate with button C bets is 48%. That's what I'm going for. This is the number that seems promising to me and which I am trying to play for. Do I have squeeze success? Looks like I don't. Moving on. Alright. Oh, I was going to get really excited that somebody actually opened 5s, but it was me. Not a sensible bet at all. That bet is terrible. That bet is garbage. That is very bad. Even against big stacks, I'm going to try raising pretty wide, but I think that I could fold this pre. But I see big stacks making really bad preflop mistakes. Very, very tight preflop folds, specifically, in these replays. Check, 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 check. Oh my god, we played the hand right. That's quite exciting. That was a fairly loose preflop call. I think I remember talking about how it was a loose preflop call as I made it. Okay, so I expect dealer to c-bet here and us to fold. Yeah, I think that that's fine. That's how I would play it, typically. That's gotta be close to break even as a shove with those stacks. That's an interesting fold. King Jack suited. I don't think you can fold that. Wow, that's an interesting fold too. Maybe I need to not make some of these folds. I feel like I'm folding a little too often. Post flop on the flop. I don't hate it that much though. Okay. This is standard. Button's bet size is bad. Doesn't make any sense really. This is a very standard check back. I love having the queen of diamonds in my hand. Pretty normal call. And it'll be an okay fold on the river. Very bad call by the button. I don't hate the way I played that at all. I actually think it would have been really hard for me to win this hand, even though I like have the best hand on the flop. I don't know, the problem is that it might still be right to be making that fold. Probably it's not. Probably I need to defend a little bit wider there. Did I just check fold that board? I don't love that, I don't hate it. we're seeing in a lot of these hands that I end up folding the best hand, and that's like very deliberate. It's because I think that people are putting too much money in the pot with marginal holdings. I want to float this board with this hand. I think that it's pretty mandatory. Going to fold that turn. Good lord. Okay, I'm gonna bet here. My hand could use protection on this board, and it stands to be best a lot of the time. The only problem is when I get called by 8s or 9s. Yeah, I mean, I'm still okay with doing stuff like this. I'm not seeing people 3-bet as wide as they should. This is a very, very bad flop bet. Here, I think that this is actually one of the 9s that I want to check. Bet now. Ooh, I like checking turn. I say that as he folds. I've noticed that people aren't showing down as much as they should as a recurring theme. And his check timing didn't seem strong to me on the flop at all. Yeah, that's good play by him. Nothing I can do, that's how poker works. Bad call, okay squeeze, but I think just calling would be better. Good-ish jam. Just gonna 3-bet, get it in here. We have 20 big blind stacks. Just like, it's not a spot where he should have a very large calling range, I don't think. We're gonna put this read to the test. Alright, he had the ace and the 7. So, nice hand, sir. Folding that pre-flop would have been okay. I think going all in is actually like close to mandatory. I have a Nash thing. Where is that? I've never been a tournament player, but yeah, ace 6 offsuit should just be a GTO jam there. So like jamming with a pre-flop is profitable, is what that's saying. Assuming that I'm reading it correctly. That's like a bad c-bet. Very bad c-bet, one might say. So I should be check raising more. Check raising is just very good in these games, it looks like. I don't know. 8s I would raise. 9s I would very happily raise. 8s I'd like, I would grumble about and then raise. It's fine. It's just like another terrible bet. I like the call more than the bet, actually. But it's an interesting call. I don't think the bet is terrible. I think that it's pretty bad. Here, I opened and got donked into for some reason. Chances are he has pocket fours based on what I've seen of how people are playing. Gonna value bet the river. Get called by queen 10 all day. Should have bet smaller. He has queen 10 and he's tanking. He's gonna fold it. Should have bet smaller. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, that seems fine. I wasn't gonna win that hand. Unless I like bet a bunch more than is reasonable. Yeah. That's fine. Don't know about this overcall. That seems dodgy. Flop bet seems pretty dodgy too. But I don't mind my fold against it, certainly. I could raise. Maybe I need to be raising those. I think something I'm noticing is that there are a lot of good spots to raise in these games. Check raise, just straight raise, etc. I'm going to check call here. I'm certainly calling here. And this is a very deceptive hit on the river. And here, there's no real reason to bet, I don't think. Just hoping he would like trick himself into bluffing somehow, but that's just a spot where I win the pot a very large amount of the time. He doesn't have a profitable bluff because I'm not folding an ace. I would need to fold an ace sometimes for him to have a profitable bluff there, I'm pretty sure. What's going on in this hand? Not betting with ace-jack of hearts is an interesting decision. Maybe that guy was disconnected? That's my leading theory right now. Hey, I got a fold. That's an interesting way to play ace jack of hearts on that board. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, it's fine. Here, I have some potential. I don't want to check this down though. Okay. Okay with that fold versus that tiny 3-bet, I guess. I'm not sure that against 100 big blind stacks I should be playing 100% out of the small blind. 30, 31, 30. Actually, take it back. 100 big blind stacks are... Oh, but that's not against a small blind raise. But still, the smaller stacks are looser in the big blind. The bigger stacks might be more positionally aware is the thing, and loosen up against small blind raises. That's just an interesting lead. There's a spot where I'm going to be defending enough that the lead isn't profitable with like 3 deuce offsuit, probably. And when you have 9s, you can theoretically win the hand by checking sometimes. Certainly you'd love to see a turn. So deciding to take a line which is just not going to be profitable with your hand doesn't seem great. Yeah, people don't seem to be 3-betting all that light. Like, even when somebody's been 3-betting light, it's been with a hand which is a very reasonable hand to 3-bet bluff with, like this one. It's like barely even a 3-bet bluff. Folding 3s there is crazy. That time the guy had kings. On this board, I'm just gonna c-bet for value, basically. Value and protection. It does 2 things. I guess it's mostly for protection. And I'm going to check. And I'm gonna... I would have called this river, because 9 doesn't bet. I'm not gonna bluff this river, though. I got pipped. I think that my bet is totally fine, even seeing that hand. My flop bet. Here... no, I don't have enough. That is quite a lead. That lead works very well against me. I like have a gutter. I have 20% equity in the pot, but facing this tiny bet I have to fold given the likelihood that somebody behind me will raise. That's funny. That they both had a 7. Okay, that hand's hilarious. Like, just everything about it is funny. Here I have pot left. I don't think there's any play in the hand, really. Sucks if he hit a pair, or started with a pair. I have no idea why you would make that turn bet. Doesn't seem like a very good bet. This is another one of the like light 3-bets which is done with a completely sensible hand to do it with. I don't mind overfolding to those. Pretty okay card for me. I'm gonna turn into a bluff here. Gutter, get a fold, nice. This will be a c-bet. Certainly one of my best hands on this board. This will be a double barrel for sure. With a gutter. I expect my opponent to be overfolding on that turn. This is one of my speculative button opens. This is not a great board for me. I'm just going to check. But like, I was saying that I realized 100% of my equity, right? Well, even on this terrible board with my worst hand, I got very, very, very close. Was I saying 100% or was I saying 70%? I think maybe I was saying 70%, and like I saw 4 out of 5 cards Gonna raise 100% of hands in this spot. Turned into a bluff there, right? I don't remember what I did there. I assume that I'm turning into a bluff. I don't hate it. I think it's okay. This guy's donking at me. I have a queen high flush draw and a pair, so my play is pretty normal, I think. I think he can have a 10. I sort of want to raise, though, given what I've seen people doing. Here I'm going to value bet. Hand gets a decent amount of protection out of the bet as well, which I'm quite happy about. I just can't fold to this size bet, I don't think. Okay, like, hands like that are certainly going to aid me in making my assumption of having 100% equity, 100% R with a hand like that correct. C-bet fold is fine. C-bet fold, yep. We're going to start getting into the more interesting hands soon, I think. I'll really motor through the rest of these. That was totally fine. Folding king-jack there is a little bit damaging to my psyche. That hand is fine. I'm going to stab here. I'm going to guess that I'm going to bet again, somewhat large. I'm going to guess that the stuff about delayed c-bets being extremely profitable, I can just fold to a quarter there. I don't know why he checked back a jack, really, but okay. I believe him. I would not recommend checking back a jack in that spot, even, well, against the strategy I chose to play, it was very good. That was fine. This is fine. I don't know what this is all about exactly. I like raising at some point there. Here I'm just going to fold, four-way, etc. That is an interesting pre-flop call. And then a very perplexing way to play the hand post-flop. I guess I played my hand pretty much perfectly there. I could have raised the flop. Well, no, I couldn't have. Seven, nine, ace jack, I'm 3-betting. Getting a fold, that seems reasonable. 9-7 suited isn't a terrible hand to consider 4-betting with, but people have never folded to 4-bets in their life, so. Getting a fold from king, queen of hearts in the big blind is actually sort of a big deal when I 3-bet that small blind. I'm quite happy about that. Yeah, I like how I played that hand. Here, I'm just gonna bluff / protect, sort of. My hand has some backdoor potential and it's got an over, and I don't really feel like I win the pot by checking very often on that particular board. Plus, I feel like I can win the pot against better hands by betting. This is a spot where if checked to, I would have checked behind with this combo. As is, I can overcall. It's nice to have the king of spades with my 10, basically. And I'm going to timeout fold and see what people have. So I'm a curious fellow. Yeah, I think just c-betting with ace-high there is fine. Oh, I don't get to see. Gotta pay to see. Here, I can call. Just check fold. I paid 25 cents to play this pot, so yeah. Okay, I'm gonna fold through deuce offsuit, I think. Certainly I am now. No, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna keep raising through deuce offsuit. We'll do that for a few thousand hands and then see how it's working for us. I did forget to consider folded card bias, which is not negligible. Turning into a bluff there looks silly when I make him fold 5 high, but actually he might have bluffed with 5 high, so I don't mind it. This seems okay. I think I can check call with this combo as well. Oh, I remember. I remember that hand. I thought that people would call too wide, was why I bet. If I get checked to here, I'm very happily taking the pot away, but when he bets the turn, I have to fold. Yeah, I just wasn't getting any more money anyway there. Here, this is a pretty good king to check back. Start betting now. And I guess I have to check here. Unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? If I continue to run as poorly as I have been, I am going to need to drop down to $10 buy-in. It's a little bit crazy how poorly I've been running. I think I can bet this against this guy, but it's thin. I could also check back and call a bet. Okay, standard. Notice that these are all green. I think that means that something is going to change about what these hands are like, because for the last 45 minutes we've just been looking at c-bet calls. Or c-bet folds, or I don't know, something like that. Alright. Limp. Call. Bet fold. Here. Pretty good hand to check back. I believe I have value/protection on the turn. If I don't, I think that he's playing his range wrong. And I think that I can check back the river. What does that even mean? I don't know. But yeah, like, if I do not at some point have the best hand on the river, I am going to run out of money. Okay. That's a very, very bad overcall. I like my c-bet on that board. People seem to play pretty straightforward actually against c-bets, much more than I felt like they were. I can 3-bet this pre-flop. I don't like it. I don't think. Don't think the hand has quite enough. That's one of the worst things I've ever seen. I think he can just bet the turn when I check. I think it's okay given he has the flush draw, and a lot of my range is chopping with him. He gets me off a chop fairly well. Folding Jack 10 with a diamond there is a little bit insulting to me. So yeah, I really need to be c-betting more. I'm confused. C-bet success is very low in my database, but people are just folding stuff they should never fold. Okay, I have triple sixes. The normal way to play this hand would be to bet. I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to raise this hand. Okay, I don't have to. I was also like praying that somebody would open before me, so I didn't have to make that play. I'm going to continue betting and bet the river. Jack 4 suited is pretty speculative here. Not 3-betting King Queen suited hurts me a little bit. Deciding to donk the flop with it also hurts me. I guess maybe there are worse hands to make the play with. The play has some merit because it protects and you have 2 overs and backdoor stuff. Backdoor stuff sounds dirty. But I don't know, you get called by ace high every time. You get folds from all the hands you're beating. I don't know that it's great, really. Here I'm gonna like bet 3 times. This is a normal check call. I think it's a pretty reasonable check call on the turn and bet the river. I'm actually going to check call the river though, because I think people are ace heavy and they keep like checking their strong hands and then raising me on the river for very large amounts, and it's goofy and I don't need that to happen to me. This might be a 3-parter. I started early tonight. Got all this energy. So far, yeah, that hand seemed like it played out about right. I'm gonna check call with this hand. It's a mediocre check call to be sure. He hit sevens, he played sevens right. Cool. I'm gonna check call again. And I can bluff, I think. I think I can bluff on the 9. Yeah, I like it. The 9 is sort of nice because, like, my floats have to have showdown value, so, well, I can have pocket 9s potentially, but that's like a pretty corner consideration. It's more like either I had like a backdoor straight draw plus a backdoor flush draw sort of weirdness, or I had ace high, which seems like it's just going to check the river, or I had something like pocket 10s, which is happy to value bet now, or a jack, which can value bet the river, and a lot of my flush draws improved to a pair is the big thing. When the 9 hit, a lot of the flush draws which weren't already ace high have improved to a pair. So I think the way I played that was okay. I'm okay with how I played that one. I could bet the river. It might get a call actually. I should probably bet the river. I think that it's a somewhat exploitative bet on the river, though. I think that I'm meant to check the river. Here, I think that against this player, betting has to be okay. Here, I haven't seen people messing around much, so I'm not going to go crazy post-flop, but this hand has too much high card value to fold getting those odds pre-flop. I've been hitting some turns. God, I don't have to raise when he's that short, do I? I don't think I do. The king-queen call seems speculative to me. The 3-bet to begin with seems okay. The flop bet is terrible. Why do people keep doing this on the flop? It's like they're just very uncomfortable with the amount of money they're playing with. This seems like an open. It's like okay to fold that though. It's less offensive than some of the other things people are doing. The way I played that isn't too bad, but it's not too great either. Folding 5-4 suited on the button is like a decision. Wow. Folding, wow. Nope, that's not a hand you can fold on the turn. So maybe people are just way too tight pre-flop, and that's why they aren't seeming to fold post-flop. Okay, he had it. It seemed like he had it. Nice hand. Nice hand as well. I got some people off some like very real holdings with that bet. I'm quite pleased with how that worked. Here I'm going to call, and I'm going to raise the brickest rivers, the super brick rivers, and I'm going to raise this one as a bluff, because I block a ton of 10s, and he shouldn't even have 10s to begin with, except for like king 10. So I think he just put himself in a spot with his range where he was folding all the time there. And I assume that he's not expecting me to take advantage of it, but the joke this time is on him. Oh my god, I got 2 people to fold ace king with ace queen. What a man I am. That's pretty cool. Here... do I raise this river? I really hope that I raise this river. Oh, I remember thinking I wanted to raise this river. Oh yeah. But I didn't pull the trigger. I don't know if he would have folded or not. Even now that I see his hand, I'm not sure whether he would have folded or not. That's pretty much what I thought he had, and I was not comfortable that he was folding to a raise. So, interesting. That really didn't teach me anything seeing that, but it's nice to like confirm that seeing the whole cards, I feel like I should raise with my combo still, and then I'm still not sure whether or not it's good. Yeah, that hand was whatever. There's no reason to bet pot there. Doesn't make any sense at all. Just calling with ace-jack is amazing for me. Okay. So I played that hand pretty well. I'm gonna call here, we're deep, I'm in position. It's quite a good flop for my calling range. Going to call once. This is just like a frequency play basically. Like I just think that I can win the pot enough. It has nothing to do with my whole cards. My whole cards are garbage for making this play. But yeah, that's like, I don't know if I've had like I guess the Jack 9 offsuit raise I just made was a 100% post-flop play. But yeah, that was a 100% post-flop play. I thought that he would probably be c-betting with ace-king, which he should just check fold. Yeah, he should just check fold it, I'm pretty sure. And also that on a lot of turns and rivers, I could take him off even aces and kings. So I just thought that he was putting a ton of money into the pot, intending to fold too often in that situation. The way I played this hand sucks against the exact hand he had, but is fine overall. I'm going to squeeze with queens here. It would have been a pretty gross spot with just a min raise. I guess I would just call, but I would call feeling like I should be putting more money in the pot. I feel like there's enough stuff going on this board that I just want to bet. Another option is to check raise. I'm going to check raise. Because I expect that King Jack will try to win the pot without improving. I don't think check calling is good. I think I need too much protection. I guess I could have raised there. Here, like, he can't even fold if he has King Jack. Yeah, so I'm very, very pleased with how that worked out. I just obliterated that guy. Just He just got absolutely wrecked. So, cool beans. I think my check raise and my sizing on the flop were very good, such that I was able to stack him on a brick even when he had the worst draw he could reasonably have. Seven, eight offsuit is not a hand we have to open. He only tried one there, huh? Alright. King, queen offsuit is another loose open. Or queen, jack offsuit. Sorry, I looked at this hand and... yeah. We're allowed to fold 7-3 of diamonds, I think. We're allowed to fold this as well. The other stuff I'm okay with. So basically I'm only okay with the c-bet and my call. I'm not sure that I'm okay with the c-bet, now that I think about it. I think I should have bet. But actually, I thought that their ranges were different. Because I think both of those calls that they made were not hands I thought that they could have. So I don't mind that I checked back given what I thought they would have. It's a pretty loose call pre-flop. Somewhat loose call on the flop, and I love my turn bet. That took him off basically the hand that I was hoping to take him off of. And I think his range is composed of hands like that. Just a flush draw, sometimes a straight draw, sometimes like a flush draw with other potential. I think that his range has enough of those hands that the bet will be profitable. This is a little bit gross, but there's no way I can get away from my hand, I don't think. I think I can bet fold, actually, maybe. Okay, this is terrible, and I'm going to check fold, but sometimes I win. Like if he has king 10, I don't think he'll bet unless he has the king of spades. And given that, I think that check folding is fine. It sucks if I got bluffed there, but it's hard to put him on a bluff, really. So after a check back, I'm going to bet the turn. Try to get him off pocket eights. Here, I think I can just c-bet. This is a very dry board, and my hand is strong enough to bet for value for sure. This is going to have to be a call. I'm going to have to call this turn. That Facebook beep was me, not you. If that came through, I'm not sure if it did or not. And I'm going to have to fold this river if he bets. Yeah, well, I absolutely obliterated him in that hand. Like, he just got absolutely destroyed. But yes, he did win the pot, technically. Check call flop, check call turn. And probably fold the river. I will fold this river against that stack size. Here, we're short enough that my hand is, I'm just gonna consider my hand the nuts. With deeper stacks, I'd consider checking it more, but yeah. Okay, we should get back to this stuff. I'm gonna check what that Facebook message was, shut off this this part of the video, and be back for part 3, where we'll be analyzing the last 40 hands, which should be the most exciting of them. See you guys soon.